and welcome to a truly flexible edition of Ben's Junk, even more so than usual. So today I want to take a look at one of those things that I really wanted when it was a new ongoing concern, and it just never happened. So here I am, 20 odd years later, finally getting to fool around with it a bit and only finding myself kind of mildly amused with it. But yeah, first and foremost, we're going to be looking at the Tascam Portable CD Guitar Trainer. And this is, first and foremost, a CD player, but one where you can slow down or speed up the playback and do so without changing the pitch if you wanted. Or you could do it with pitch. You can even tune down by key, by a semitone at a time. So C to B to B flat to A, that sort of thing. But yeah, this just never happened. So I remember when these things came out, and this would have been the beginning of 2004. I was just entering my last semester of high school, and I was slowly coming to the realization I wanted to do music. That was what I wanted to do with my life, and obviously it didn't pan out. But it's what I wanted back then, and I was slowly coming to the realization that if I had any future, it was going to be as a solo artist as opposed to a member of a band. And that meant if I wanted any lyrics in anything, I was going to have to start really taking the mic with some level of seriousness. Now, yes, this is the guitar trainer, but you can just as easily plug a microphone in with an XLR to quarter-inch cable, just like I did with my old cassette rigs back then. And yeah, I can use that. I can, mess around with existing recordings and try and figure out what my zone was as a singer and all that. My attempts at learning that sort of thing up until that point and still ongoing for a while were just terrible. So there was some logic to it, and in retrospect, maybe I should have, but it would have taken a while. So these went for about $150 at the time, which is a decent amount of money, but it's not unattainable. And at the same time, with that realization of, gonna have to be a solo artist, and I was writing more songs than ever, and I was mostly writing them on acoustic guitar, I hated my acoustic guitar, my Epiphone. The action was way too high, the neck already had a pretty bad warp in it. I wanted a new acoustic guitar, and so that became my focus. And I wanted, admittedly, a pretty bottom-of-the-line Martin guitar. It's still a good guitar, but kind of the low end of their offerings. And that was going to be $550, and I spent that semester saving up for that, and this just totally fell by the wayside. I started college later in the year, and yeah, just totally forgot about it. Now, they made these things for years, but after a few years, they shifted the focus from CDs to like sticking an SD card in there and working with data compressed audio files, so like MP3s, and you do your thing that way. And of course, nowadays, you can just do that stuff super easy on the computer. These things are totally obsolete at this point. But it didn't stop me from 20 odd years later seeing one on Fleabay, hey, $20, yeah, I'll give it a try. And then finding the vocal trainer to boot for about the same price, yeah, sure, I'd love to belatedly take a cruise through these and see what I think of it. And with that in mind, we'll do just that. I'll take a cut here, and I'll hook up a mic. We will do both machines, and that way I can kind of point out what's unique to each one. And I think it's going to be better served that way. So yeah, let's take a cut here. I'll grab a mic. We'll run it ultimately directly to the camcorder, and we'll have a little fun. All right, here we go. We're all hooked up, and I'm keeping it super duper simple here. So we're running out of the line output on here, just using a normal old Y cable, 1/8 inch on one end to the good old red and white on the other, which is going to a field recorder, and then ultimately to the camcorder. My microphone, I'm just using, it's a pretty tight shot here, but I'm using my Shure SM58, super common mic. You don't have to be into music or audio at all. You have seen this microphone at some point in your life. So anyway, that is running via an XLR to 1/4 inch cable into here, so unbalanced. Otherwise, we do have a headphone jack, as one would hope for, output level, which I have just short of the maximum here. Input, that's my mic level at the moment. I've got that at maximum. And line in here, 1/8 inch. So you can run, say, an iPod into here. We'll do Supertramp, but not really. And the downside to that is, yes, it will take the audio, but you can't do anything with it. So it's really just a pass-through on that front. As I've already mentioned, we got the 1/4 inch input, either to run your electric guitar or pick-up acoustic guitar directly in, or a microphone in this case, or even like an electronic drum kit or something if you wanted to. And then we've got a 1/4 inch jack for a foot switch from like a keyboard. So you can start and stop playback just using a foot switch instead of having to reach over. Now, the reason that you're having to plug direct in with this for certainly on the guitar front is they do not want you running an amplifier through this. And that would make sense. It would totally blow the thing out. So to try and make up for that, they've included a whole bank of effects that you can use to try and, approximate the sound of whatever style you're playing, which in the case of this, they evidently thought it was going to be mostly a bunch of metalheads and punks, because almost everything is just distortion. But there's menus and submenus of effects, and you can, if you dig deep enough, you can turn down the amount of distortion if you want to, and just, mess around with it. So on that note, I guess I better put on some headphones here so I can hear what's going on. And there we go. There's the effects, and it's can you believe that? It's telling me to F off. So anyway, we'll start at the beginning. 5 potential, I suppose you could say, banks of effects, but like I said, you can go deeper in it and you can fine tune them, but we'll just go through the basic, truly preset ones in here. So it's all going to be some level of distortion. I may have to mess with the mic level. It may try and feedback on me, but all right, here's number 1.
There's one. And yes,
as I expected, I did have to turn my mic level down because it was going to feedback on me. But okay, so just kind of a general distortion there. We'll go to number 2, and
there's number 2. And
we'll echo, a little bit of echo to it that time. All right, we'll jump up to number 3, and
a stereo effect going there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So you can kind of play off your own delay there. All right, number 4. So that's plain. I'll bump the level down.
There's number 4. Ooh, nice panning effect.
Nice panning effect there. All right, and number 5.
All right, there's 5. 1, 2, 3.
So was that like a really bad early 2000s nu metal kind of effect? I don't know. So yeah, and like I've mentioned a couple of times already, you can mess around with this sort of stuff. You can see it kind of bouncing around there when I press the bank button. 1, 2, that's on, that's off,
On.
off, yeah. So otherwise, what else have we got here? We have the ability to loop playback, and which is most useful in tandem with this input-output button. So say you're trying to learn the guitar solo on something, and you can just pick out that say 30 seconds or minute or however long, and just have it play over and over again and just work on it. And not only that, in tandem with that, you can try and slow it down without messing with the pitch and so on and so forth. So let's start getting into that sort of thing here. So there's the effects again. Library number 7, so you can dig through a bunch of libraries worth of effects. Distortion levels, so that last one we used was only at 31. Mess with tone levels, kind of a basic EQ, and so on and so on. The mix of certain elements of it, I suppose. Level. And then we're back to it telling me to F off. All right, so I've already got the pitch down here. So it must be in SSA mode, which I forget what that stands for, but it means that it will maintain pitch, but only slow. It will not speed up the playback of an audio source. So I suppose I better pop something in here. For copyright reasons for now, we'll just stick with the good old archive soundtrack album here. Now, these things are getting on in years, so they do take a little while to read, and especially to start up once you hit the play button. The main table of contents isn't too terrible, but by the same token, it's not like it's brand new or anything here. All right, so it does take a while to find the track. We'll do Battle at Elderbush Gulch just because there's a clear focal point to that one. And I'll have to fast forward a bit here. This is where it gets slow. There we go. All right, let's jump to like the 20-second mark. There we go. So, first and foremost, before I get into pitch, I can maintain my vocal level or whatever I'm pumping in and just mess with the audio level. So, emphasis on me or emphasis on the music. I'm still here, and I'm just harder to hear. Again, I'm still at the same level. All right, so we'll put this back at 0. Let's try that pitch thing. Now, again, it's not changing the pitch, just the speed. So now we're at half speed. In which case it would be the same key, wouldn't it? And of course, this is where that's where YouTube got the idea for their drunk-sounding playback speed controls, as we all know. All right, so we messed with that. Now let's try and do that with it changing the pitch. So we'll turn the SSA off. We'll bring the music back up. So we're at half speed. It's vaporwave now. Now, unfortunately, you can't pitch up with this fine tuning, fine pitch thing, unfortunately. Oof. Now it's just depressing. If your ears are on just right, it's like one of Tom Waits' Junkyard Symphonies. Alright, let's get back up to pitch here. So there we go with that. All right, now we will change the key proper, and we're almost at the end of this track here, so I suppose I better kind of start it over again. So now we'll change the key a semitone at a time, a half step at a time. So we'll go up. You can go 3 whole steps up. So that's 3 whole steps up. So now it's in F sharp. Or we'll go in the other direction. Now it seems like it's changing the speed, but I promise you it's not. So when it comes right down to it, you have you can go in any key, really, but you can only go half of an octave in either direction. I suppose it's a bit of a trade-off that they came up with there. So we got that. You have the option of playing all or just a single track. Tuner, you can... it's the factory pre-tunes it for 440 hertz, the common concert pitch. But it will go down to 435 and up to 445 and any point in between. So if you're one of those youngins that's into the whole 432 hertz thing, you're kind of screwed here. Okay, and then we're right back to telling me to F off, of course. All right, that's kind of all you can do with this one. So I'll turn that off and we'll pull my disc here. Now there's no break on this, so you kind of have to just wait or try and gently guide it to an end. Now, before I kick over to the vocal trainer thing, let's finish what we started earlier here. So what we have here on the side is a switch between, if I can make the light hit it just right, guitar and mic. Obviously, I have it set for mic right now because that's what I'm doing. Hold is just like the hold setting on an old Walkman or something, where you can press it, and if you bump any buttons, nothing will happen. So it's just in case you get clumsy. And then this button here that says guitar, it really just means whatever you've plugged into it, it's either on or off. Well, obviously it's on at the moment. And then we got the power switch. You can run this on batteries, but I'm just doing the good old AC adapter because I don't do batteries unless I have to. They're just kind of a pain in the butt as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, that's certainly the basics of this one. We'll take a cut here and we'll go over to the vocal one, and we'll try and confine it to just the things that are unique to the vocal one. All right, I've gone over to the vocal trainer here, and this segment shouldn't be near as long because, again, it's like 90% of the same stuff here, but let's try and pick out what's unique to this one, at least. So, once again, the signal flow is exactly the same. We're doing line out with a Y cable, same old mic cable going in there. You got the same old headphone jack, same old output and input, same old auxiliary input. The only real difference here on the front panel is you've got 2 mic inputs now, so you can work on your duet skills, I guess. I guess if I really wanted to learn I've Had the Time of My Life with some girl or something, I don't know. Something stupid. All right, here's the only true difference on this side, vocal cancel. Now, if I turn that on, it's not going to change a thing for me with the live mic here. But if there's a CD in and it's playing, it's going to try and eliminate the center of a stereo image, which is where the vocals usually are in a stereo recording. Now, if the vocals are tilted off or hard panned to one side, you're still going to hear them. And if they have any kind of like stereo reverb or delay, any of that sort of stuff, you're still going to hear it leak a bit. But it is useful in trying to, I suppose, learn how to front a band. Just work on, being the lead singer of something. Otherwise, it's all the same. The same hold switch. Instead of the button saying guitar, now it's mic on and off. Exact same function. Same old on and off switch. The back is the same. You can run this on batteries, just like the other one. So yeah, mostly the same stuff. But let's get down to what's unique to this one. So let me grab my headphones. And we'll start with the voice changer here. So off, and it's super basic. You can either go up to chipmunk voice or, I hate to say Barry White, but some sort of, just more low thing, pitch you down an octave or up an octave. So we'll go up.
And we're in chipmunk mode.
Chipmunk mode. We'll go down.
And there we are. Don't worry, I won't hurt you. I just want you to have some fun.
Now, if you could understand that at all, maybe you can catch the reference. All right, let's go over the effects here. So once again, it's telling me to F off, you bastard. And let's just go through the effects here. So there's number one. I actually kind of like that one. It's a pretty hefty stereo reverb echo thing. Number two, a little more delay heavy. Number three, which is a little more psychedelic, I guess. Number four, which is more of a compressed and filtered sort of thing. Number five, something similar, a bit tamer, I guess. Number six, kind of in that same boat, just now with a little bit of a stereo delay. Number seven, and we're getting into sci-fi and psychedelic mode here. Number eight, so some true stereo delay going on there. Number nine, number nine, number nine, number nine. And YouTube will think that I am the Beatles, just watch. Number 10, there's number 10, so we're back into more just compressed territory here. Number 11, which is similar. Actually, that's kind of a bathroom reverb, isn't it? Number 12, so kind of compressed and a little stereo action. Number 13, back into psychedelic mode. Number 14, which seems to have a continual panning thing going on. If I keep talking, you'll hear me kind of bouncing around from left to right and back again and back again and back again. Number 15, so kind of a catch-all in a way. Actually, that sounds kind of gated. Yep. Okay, number 16, that's more of a spoken vocal effect. 17, so I don't know, kind of running my vocal mic through an amp. Number 18, ooh. And that is all of them. All right. So let me stick the archive soundtrack back in, and I guess it's a good thing that I put two cuts with lyrics on here just for the express purpose, years later, of demoing this thing. So once it finally gets going, we'll queue up one of the vocal cuts on here, and I guess I can do something, real meta here. I can kind of karaoke myself. So we'll test out the vocal canceller here, but there's so many effects on here, you'll probably still hear it to some degree. And this has a short intro.
As I each new toy but you might as well.
Alright, I guess I should try and karaoke myself, huh? And a fool there was, and a fool there always will. So I guess the real trick is trying to figure out what's me singing live and what's, the original recording. I suppose I can go ahead and throw some stupid effect. Whoa, was this kind of the goofy one? Yeah. Alright, so let's wait for the next line to come around here.
Like the blackest flame.
The girl's whole existence is another shadow thing. And a fool there was. And a fool there always will. And then it goes into an instrumental break. All right, we'll go back to dry again. And that's kind of the extent of what's unique to this one. Now, just like the other one, you can change the playback speed and the pitch and all that, and you can kind of find, maybe you're looking to cover a song and you can't quite cut it in the original key, but hey, maybe we can kind of fool with it and figure out what works. So yeah, it's certainly got its place in this world. And I am happy that I finally, after all these years, gotten a chance to play with these. I am sure I would have used this quite a bit back in the old days, but now it's just a bit of a yet another obsolete novelty. Change the name of the channel from Oddity Archive to Obsolete Novelties, I suppose. But anyway, yeah, I think we've done justice to this one. All right, I'll end it here. I'll talk to you again soon.